Hello, how's it going, guys? How are you all today?
I am doing just fine. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well today. It's the morning time, so it's morning, but I'm doing well.
But you're already busy as a bee.
Yep, we're ready for an unbelievable run.
Oh, wonderful. CJ is going to love it. Please keep it up, meme it up in chat.
I will.
Everybody drop us your best bee puns.
They're very much
CJ
encouraged.
loves you. Yes. Also, if you want to either have me or maybe just a little bit Frozen Fly go read the bee movie script, get a donation. We can be reading those.
Right? If you can.
It is a
Sorry.
piece, I will not say of what quality, but it's the bee movie script. Yeah. Okay. If I'm ready, if you're ready,
Oh yeah, whenever you guys are.
you can start anytime.
Okay, cool. Well, so this is B-Movie game. I'm playing on the Wii version, just so you guys know. The Wii version is kind of its own version. There's like, I guess technically like 3 different versions of this game. There's the PC, PS2, Xbox 360 version, which is its own thing. It's a pretty similar version of the game, but there's a lot more side quests that you're like required to do to finish the game. And then there's also this version and the DS version. And the DS version is its own thing as well, but the B-Movie game on Wii is it's an interesting game to say the least. We're gonna keep the autosave feature on. Normally for like PB attempts, you turn off autosave because it's a little slower to have the game autosave after every mission, but since the game on the very small occasion will crash, or it'll just like bug out to the point where you have to restart the console. It's good to just have autosave on for marathon purposes. So anyway, so time will start. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
CJ must really love me to have all those beautiful, comfy, cute, and stable games in one block where I'm hosting.
Well, you know, I mean, the thing about Wii games is like, man, sometimes some of them just, I don't know, some of them just break, and like for no reason it feels like. Sometimes I'll just straight up load up a level in some games and the entire level's like collision or like their textures or whatever will just bug out like nuts. It's pretty ridiculous. Alright, I did forget, but I restarted the console there so I could start a new game, and file name doesn't really matter, but yeah, we are going to be running with the autosaves just because it's a little safer. So,
that and the all Speedway Races incentive you gave us has been met.
Nice,
so
nice, awesome.
We'll be seeing a little bit more of this even.
Okay. Sweet, that sounds good. I am definitely down to do that. If we're like way ahead of the time estimate, I might also squeeze in a couple extra other races on there if we have the time. But anyway, all right. So time will start once I press story mode here. So I'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. So
good luck, Simon.
Awesome. So, so the game starts off here with a cutscene of Barry B. Benson, the main character of B-Movie. He's being interviewed by one of the newscasters in the game. There's like these in between cutscenes, in between every mission, and it'll just be like these B reporters interviewing Barry about him, his recent stint with the humans and whatnot. So it's supposed to be kind of like Barry retelling the story, I guess, but the main part of this game is the main story missions, which we'll get to in a little bit, but we're in the hub world right now, and in the hub world you can drive around with this car here. The tutorial at the beginning of the game just teaches you how to pretty much just drive, and it tells you about the side missions. And you are required to do one specific side mission at the beginning of the game here, which is a job at the Hunex factory, the honey factory inside of New Hive City, which is the name of this giant beehive we're in. And Yeah, pretty much. The point of like B movie, if you guys haven't seen B movie, I'm not gonna spoil all of it, but pretty much Barry is like he's a bee and he's ready to start working for the rest of his life and in indentured servitude for the hive, and the bees all get like randomly assigned jobs, and then like Barry pretty much wants to be a pollen jock, which is these guys that go out into the actual world, like the real world itself, and go and collect pollen and pollinate and stuff. Because I guess that's what the big, burly, strong bees do. So we start off the first story mission here after we finish that tutorial, and this first mission here is just kind of a reaction time mission. It's pretty much just an auto-scroller. We just have to react to the arrows on screen, and if we do happen to lose all of our health, we do restart back at the latest checkpoint. It's pretty hard to lose all of your health, especially because you constantly are gaining health back after you take a hit, and then even in cutscenes, like that cutscene where it panned to Barry there for a second, you do gain health back during those cutscenes as well. So it's pretty hard to die in the cutscenes, or in the auto scrollers at least. You'd have to pretty much really go out of your way to die, I think.
Glad we didn't lose anyone back
it's just
there.
a bunch of reaction time stuff at first, and then there's these other reaction time sections where we need to click on these targets that appear on screen, and we do need to kind of click them fairly close to the center. If you click them off center, you can end up missing them, and missing them is slow. And then there's also some waggling, some classic wee waggling, and then we just skip through that. Cutscene there. Every cutscene in the game you can skip as long as you press B and A together. For whatever reason, you can't just press A or just press B or whatever. You have to press B and then A, and then it will skip the cutscene consistently. It's really weird, but it works. So this is like one of the main portions of the game here. This is another tutorial level, and this teaches you how to do the pollinating. And pollinating's a pretty big part of this game. We gather up a bunch of honey all throughout the game, and the honey in the game is pretty much our currency. We need to gather up about like 2,700 units of honey over the entire course of the game, because there's these there's requirements that we have later on to purchase what are called flight passes. And what flight passes do is they let us they let us play the missions that we unlock later, because you can't play them unless you straight up buy a flight pass for them. So it's kind of funny, but pretty much we need to start off by pollinating a specific amount of flowers here, and we want to pollinate just a couple more because it's just a little more convenient to pick up some more flowers in this level than later. But we do nice. The way the camera works in this game is super jank. Alright, so just need to gather up this one here, and then it'll tell us to fly up to our next instruction. I'm gonna just pollinate a couple more flowers here. We get 25 units of honey per flower that we pollinate. So pollinating flowers is definitely a really quick way to go about getting honey. You can also pick up honey in some other areas, like there's some honey that you can pick up off the ground, some lovely ground honey, and then there's also some honey in the hub world that we were in earlier. Alright, so now I've got a decent amount of honey, and now the game's gonna tell me how to use the pollinator gun, because in this game, unlike in the movie, Barry is kind of a badass in this game, and he carries a gun. He just shoot him up B. And pretty much what the game's teaching us to do right now is it's letting us shoot a bunch of balloons for target practice, but eventually we are going to come across enemies that will try to kill us that are like other insects like wasps and hornets and stuff like that, and we'll eventually need to defend ourselves against them, which is pretty important. It's pretty good to learn how to do combat well, just because it can be pretty easy to die if you take enough shots. So here's some dragonflies. We need to shoot a couple of these dragonflies here. You can also do a little dash here by shaking the nunchuck to gain a little bit of speed going forward. Although it's not the most reliable thing to do, because you can pretty easily do stuff like accidentally do a barrel roll if you end up doing like a side swipe with the nunchuck instead, which is pretty easy to mistakenly do because of how lovely the motion controls are on Wii. And another shaky section here. So there's these, as you can see, there's these little things that we can use in the environment to also kill the enemies. And we don't really use them because they're pretty slow for the most part. But they are guaranteed insta-kill if you do fly by one. And if you're like really low on health, that can be kind of nice. Just so you can get a second to gain some health back and also get a guaranteed kill. Alright, and then we just have one left over here. Where? Oh, you went behind me. I have a little mini map in the bottom right there, as you guys can see, and that can help me figure out where the enemies are as well. Alright, so that's that level. So yeah, we covered going through and pollinating flowers. Pretty much we just need to do that a lot to get honey. And there's a couple other levels where we're doing lots of other things, but you guys will see that soon. So here's another auto-scroller reaction time level. So this game was made about the same, like it was released I think like 2 or 3 days earlier than the movie came out. So it was one of those types of movie games that I think were more of like developed around the same time that the movie was being made. So they have a lot of these shots that are from the trailers, but overall the game itself doesn't really follow the story of B-movie to a T, or to a B. But pretty much a lot. There's a good like 2 or 3 of these reaction levels. There's not too many, thankfully. So it's pretty chill. It's just whacking a ball around. All right, and some of these missions that I think if you finish a mission, I could be wrong about this. I actually don't know for sure. But some missions you can get like 25 honey at the end of the mission for finishing it. I think it might be if you have like full health, you get a bonus for that.
Cleared for landing.
It might just be certain missions give you honey at the end. I just know that like some other ones don't. If you get to the end, like it might just be a certain amount of health. I'm not sure. But anyway, so we're moving on to this next level here. This level's called the rain level, and this is kind of explained in the movie a little bit, but pretty much bees are bad at flying in rain, and they can get really hurt if they fly out there for too long. And that kind of ties into the movie because Barry goes out flying and he gets stuck in the rain, so he has to go and go take shelter and stuff. But in the B-movie game, this level's pretty important in that this is pretty much like the fastest level to grind for honey, because there's just so many flowers that are really close to each other. So we go through this level about 3 times in a row because there's just so much honey we have to pick up throughout the game. So I have no idea if you guys I'll mention here in a second, sorry, never mind. So we'll just go ahead and I'll explain the rest of this level, and then I'll say what I was going to say after we finish the first time through. So we're just picking up this honey here. Just couple more right here. I do try to, while I pollinate one flower, I do try to like position myself to be in a little bit of a better position, so I can, like pollinate the next flower really quick. All right, want to make sure to wait under there just so that we don't take too much damage. Because if we take too much damage, that's really bad, because then we get sent back to the beginning of the level, and we lose all of the honey that we've gathered up so far. So we don't want to do that. That can be really time consuming, so yeah, we're just gonna pollinate a couple more of these flowers. In these levels, there's a couple of things that you can see around here that we don't really utilize because it's just slow to do, but there's these there's like these wind tunnels that you can fly in this level, and they can let you have like a little safe path to take that gives you a little bit of honey, and it's kind of like the intended way of going through the levels, but you don't need to do that at all. And it's slower to do that because it's like a just auto-scrolling animation of the game doing that. But yeah, so we're on the last little batch of flowers here, and then we're gonna reset the level 2 more times to get a heck load of honey. Alright, just need to get that honey there, and then we return to the hive, and then that will save the amount of honey we have and let us restart the level. And this game, I think there will probably be a good couple of other times later that we could have donations read, but if you guys have any, if you have anything you need to read off or anything, this would be like the most ideal time, because the next 2 times through rain is pretty self-explanatory. I pretty much explained everything I could.
Better find some cover, or you're going down the drain.
But yeah, otherwise, we'll just keep going. B-movie. I don't know if you guys like B-movie. I kind of unironically like the B-movie. I'm like probably one of the few people in the entire world that really enjoy it. Like, I actually genuinely thought the B-movie was a decent movie. I really like comedies though, so that's probably mostly it. It's not like a touching kind of 3D movie like those Disney movies and whatnot, but I think it's fun. I like the humor in B-movie a lot, so I think it's definitely a decent animated film. The game itself is okay for a movie game. It's definitely not perfect by any means, but it definitely has a lot of stuff to do. There's a good amount of like side missions you can do, like taxi missions, delivery missions, racing missions. So overall, B-movie game's alright. If you can get it for like really cheap, I'd say it's not totally a rip-off to buy it. So, if you guys are looking for something dumb to speedrun, look no further. Or look further and find a better game. But this game's not too bad. Overall, I think there could be some things that would be nice to improve on in terms of like the speedrun route. If there was ever some type of like honey duplication glitch found, that would be awesome. Because there's definitely a good amount of honey that we have to grab throughout the entire game. So if we had some way to just duplicate the honey really fast, then we could probably save at least like 10 or so minutes on the whole run. Assuming we still had to buy all the flight passes and everything. If we could do some type of like level select glitch or something, then I don't think we would even need to gather up any honey at all. But sadly, I have tried to mess around with stuff like that and haven't found anything useful yet. But who knows? There might be something. There might be some crazy stuff that might end up being found someday if somebody ever cares enough. There's not too many people that run the B-movie game. On Wii, I think there's only like 4 people who have submitted runs, and I'm the only person who's done any runs under an hour or under 50 minutes for that matter too. And then, yeah, I think it's just mostly that nobody's really took too much of the routing seriously. Not that my route's like super perfect, but
Lucky shot.
yeah, I'd say sub 50 is pretty free with the current route. So,
Ding ding dum 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 dum. Ding
so
dum
yeah,
dum dum.
very very improvable. I don't know why Barry stopped taking from this flower. There we go. All right, so third time through. This is the final time we're going through the rain level here. Gather up some more pollen. Go up here. Oh, wait, crap, I thought I didn't lock on to the right flower there at first, but I did. Alright, gather up that honey. And just pollinate some more flowers up in here. When you do pollinate, you do have to aim at this little hexagon very carefully, or else you'll be a little bit slower. So it helps to be good and have a steady hand, this kind of thing. Alright, gonna get that, and now we're gonna fly this way, because now that we're going to actually finish the level, we want to hit the checkpoints. The reason why we don't hit the checkpoints in the other parts is because in the other two playthroughs of the level is just because whenever we go into a checkpoint, this checkpoint here, it'll play a cutscene, and then also if we get a little too far at the end of the level, it'll end the level, and that's not really what we want. So just want to make sure that we don't hit any triggers we don't want to hit. Good 10 more flowers to pollinate, and then we're done with this level.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Hey!
Pollinate a couple more here. What's great when you're pollinating these flowers too is some of them will like snap up. They'll like kind of grow up really quick, so like the hexagon that you need to aim at will move around really quickly. That can be kind of obnoxious.
La, la,
Like sometimes the flowers are really wilted, so they'll just be tilted over a lot, and then when you pollinate them, they'll stick straight up. Alright, awesome. So now we have all the honey that we need from this level, and we just need to fly to the end here. So as I was saying earlier, in the movie, Barry goes flying and then he gets caught in a rainstorm, so he needs to go and take some shelter. So he goes and takes shelter in a near apartment window, and that's where he meets Vanessa's family. And Vanessa is the human character that Barry ends up meeting, and I guess, I don't know if you'd say falls in love, but kind of falls. The B movie's weird, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but be human love. Alright. And in this level here, we have a new mechanic that we're showing off here. It's the little buzz mechanic where we scare humans by buzzing in their faces. And we do that 3 times in this level here. We scare a bunch of people around their apartment. And they smack, I forget what his name is. He has a name, I forget his name, but it's Patrick Warburton's character. They smack him around. Oh, you know what's a fun fact? I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if Patrick Warburton specifically was in this game, but I know Jerry Seinfeld definitely did all of the voice work for Barry. And I think the other characters did a bit of voice work for the game. Like, I know, what's his name? The judge dude also has, he's also in the game as well. So there's some decent voice work for the game, I think, which is nice. Alright, so there's that level. That level's pretty quick and easy. It's just sort of, I mean, sort of like an auto-scroller. The faster we do those buzzing sections, the better. But, yeah. So now we're sent back to the overworld. We can buy some of these flight passes here. I'm going to buy as many as I can, just since I'm right here anyway. Alright, and then we need to gather up 1,000 honey to buy the platinum pass, so we'll get to that point here later, but this next mission here is kind of a fun mission. This mission, we have like a choice to either pollinate flowers or kill dragonflies. Yeah, oh, sorry ma'am, sorry ma'am, oh gosh, sorry ma'am, okay, oh wait, crap, did I get it stuck in her boobs? Crap, I got stuck in her boobs. I literally got stuck, okay. I'm sorry, I had to do that. That was very much a vital part of this gameplay experience. Okay. I don't know how often I've ever gotten stuck there, but that's cleared hilarious.
For launch.
Okay, so this level, yeah, we opt to pollinate flowers because we need to gather up honey throughout the game. Anyway, don't get stuck in her boobs again. Okay. Yeah, we opt to pollinate flowers because it's definitely we need the honey anyway, and since we can choose between the two in this area, it's definitely the preferable option. So yeah. But while we're gathering up the honey, these dragonflies will try to shoot at us and kill us, so we need to be a little bit careful when we do gather up this honey here. Alright.
Hey!
Stop. There we go. Thankfully, the dragonflies sometimes have really bad aim. Occasionally, they'll have really good aim, but I think it kind of depends on how close you are to them. Come on.
La 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 la.
Pollinating more flowers. This game is great, isn't it, guys? Oh gosh, I just took out like half of my health in like 2 seconds. Come on, stop unknocking. Stop unknocking, Barry.
Hey!
I'm gonna fly over here. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that, but that's fine. Just want to make sure not to accidentally hit those, because that's slow. Alright, so just 2 more flowers to pollinate here. Or sorry, 3 more flowers to pollinate. Turn around, grab this. This flower. And we're gonna dash away here so we don't die. And there should be another flower over here. Awesome. So there's that part of the level, and there's still more of the level to go. Now we are at this next part of the level where we need to shoot a bunch of wasps outside of their, I don't know if, I think this is the new Hive City hive. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. And we need to defend the hive from all these wasps because they're attacking. One neat thing about the combat in this game is if you shoot from afar, you are likely to get seen by the wasps earlier, but the thing about it is you're kind of further away, so it's harder for you to get shot immediately. So as long as you're careful, shouldn't have to worry too much. That was actually a pretty decent hive defending section there. Oh dang, I didn't mean to do that. That's annoying. We don't want to get stuck in those wind tunnels by accident. Did take a lot of damage there. Yeah, I was gonna say, probably gonna die there. Okay, that's fine. At least I died like immediately, because I would rather die immediately instead of taking like 5 minutes to kill these guys and then die and then have to kill them again. Just need to kill these next wasps. Nice. That was actually a really decent wasp killing section. And then we finish the level by going over to that picnic table there, and then yeah, then so that sequence there, the sequence of events, I'm not explaining it super well, but Barry was just having a dream sequence. That's also in the movie, although it's pretty brief.
You are cleared for landing.
Barry was just dreaming of his lovely days hanging out with Vanessa. And now we're moving on to the next level, Duel. And this is the level where we duel Victor, the honey warehouse worker. And he duels us with attack. And this does happen in the movie as well. It's pretty epic. It's just kind of another auto-scroller, except with more of these buzzing parts. One fun thing about those little buzzing sections is the humans will try and hit you whenever you're buzzing at them, and normally you're supposed to kind of get out of the little hexagon area so that you can avoid getting hit, but if you sit at just the edge of the hexagon, then you can actually avoid getting hit or avoid taking damage if you manage to sit at just the right spot. Thankfully, it's not too bad if you end up taking like one hit from pretty much anything in the game, but later on, and like especially like the last two bosses, you definitely want to make sure not to end up taking too much damage, because if you do end up dying during a boss fight, you have to start the boss fight from the very beginning of the level, which is pretty slow. So. Alright, so now Barry fights the warehouse worker. Barry's pretty much, he's getting into the investigation of how to stop the humans from stealing all of the honey from the bees. 'Cause that's kind of like one of the main plots of the movie is Barry, he meets Vanessa, and then he finds out that bees, the honeybees' honey, are they're sold commercially, like all of their honey is just packaged and sold commercially, and Barry thinks that's wrong and it's like stealing and stuff, so so now we're going to go and investigate these honey farmers and see what they're up to. And in this level here, we're trailing a honey farm truck. We're just needing to traverse through a bunch of cars that are trying to kill us. Little shaking section there. That fun thing about that shaking section is you pretty much, I would say, unless you absolutely just know this level already, there's a pretty good likelihood that at that specific shaking section there, you'll just die if you don't know it. If you don't know that it's already, like, if you don't totally expect a shaking section there, because yeah, it gives you like such little time to actually react to it. It's pretty funny. So here's another one of the reaction time target games here. That's all that we have for that part there, and now we just need to make it through the rest of this level without dying. Again, it's pretty easy to get through any of the auto-scrolling levels without dying. There's really not much to them. And even if you do end up taking a hit, usually it's like such a small amount of damage that it's pretty neglectable anyway. So, moving along here. We're going. Auto-scrolling. Got some more shaking sections. You can definitely try, if you shake the Wii remote and nudge, oh, by the way, watch that biker.
Lucky shot.
See, that biker just drove backwards. Okay. Yeah, the shaking sections, if you shake the Wii remote and nunchuck in a specific way, you can definitely get some faster shaking done. That's kind of neat.
No problem. That was close. No
And then we just have some more reaction time button pressing stuff, and one more shaking part in this level. Fun fact, this was in the demo version of this game. There's a couple of demos of this game that are out there. That is the level that they give you for the demo. the one of the auto-scrolling levels. It's pretty great. Maybe it was one of the easiest ones to fit into other discs. I don't know. All right, so we're done with that level. Moving on to Honey Farm. Honey Farm is kind of an interesting level. We find a bunch of the little makeshift beehive things. I forget what they're called, but yeah, we're at the apiary. Gotta take a bunch of pictures for legal evidence for us to use against the humans later. We need to take 4 pictures around the area. And we can try to avoid the smoke, although it doesn't really matter that much if we get hit by it, because it's... Again, we have so much health that it really is pretty neglectable. We don't really need to worry that much. We're just gonna keep dashing over to these picture spots. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to defend a bunch of these makeshift hives from all of these hornets that are chilling outside of their hives. We need to shoot all 10 of the hornets that are outside of each of these hives. Fun thing is, if you do happen to shoot enough of them, you can get them to the point where they start spawning in the exact same place at the start of at the little base of the hive there. And you can use that to save a little bit of time on pretty much spawn camping them. You can just spawn camp here, right there. It's pretty fast. It's pretty nice. All right. Yes, I know I spawn camp. I'm a noob. What of it? All right. We just need to kill 10 more of these guys here. Need to be a little closer so I can actually shoot them. Alright, good. So now we're on to the boss of this level. It's a little bit better if we try to position ourselves in front of him here, because this is another one of those buzzing sections, and if we position ourselves in front of him, that makes us a little bit closer to this little buzzing section in the middle there. And we do have to be, again, we do have to be in the middle of that. Well, not in the middle, but we do have to be touching that hexagon to actually start increasing the buzz meter up, so... Get close again here. Yeah, we were a little too close to him there.
I'm for Betty by bees.
Yeah, you have to be pretty close to the edge there to not take a hit. Alrighty, come on. We've got a couple more cycles here to go. But yeah, this guy's trying to kill us with his smoke gun. Trying to smoke us out, nicotine us out.
We'll never make it.
This is the 3rd cycle, and then we have one more cycle to go.
He's stung now.
But it's kind of an auto-scroller boss. Again, it's just pretty much another one of those buzz and auto-scroll reaction sections. Nothing too fancy. And then goes into the 4th cycle here, where we need to do more button reaction time stuff after buzzing for the last time.
Ow! All right.
Go through his pants. Phase through his pants like it's no big deal. That happens literally every time, by the way. Alright. And then that is that level. So we're getting through, we're moving on. We finished all of the silver pass levels, and now we're moving on to the gold pass levels. We have a decent amount of honey. Again, we do need to get 1,000 before a specific point, but we're pretty close, and we still have more honey that we get along the way. So now we're on to the restaurant level. This level's kind of neat in that there's a good amount of flowers that we need to gather up, and pretty much this level has like a mix of almost everything that we do in most of the levels. There's pollinating, there's buzzing, there's reaction time stuff. There's a bunch of maneuvering around so that we can save some time. All that jazz. So we're gonna grab a little thing of honey there. Some of the honey that you can pick up around the levels are occasionally worth grabbing if they're pretty much smack dab in your flight path. So gather up a couple of those. There's the honey units you can pick up. You can pick up some that are worth just 1, which are just a droplet of honey, or some that are worth 5, which is like a little honey pot with a little honey stir thing, these things. And then there's another one that's just a whole honey comb, or like a hive, and it's and that gives you 10 honey. So that's pretty neat. So we need to take another picture here as evidence, and then we need to go scare this guy so that he'll distract the judge and get him to move to a different area. We need to avoid this old man. We need not die to this old man eating his soup on a plate. And gather up some of these honeys. There's another 2 flowers here I can pollinate.
La 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 la.
Then gather these 2 up. Alright. So we just need 200 more honey before the end of the next level. So we can fly to the end of these wind paths. Normally you're supposed to just fly through them the whole way, but you can actually fly like halfway through the wind tunnels
Easy peasy.
and skip like half of the animation of the wind tunnel, which is really nice. So that little section there, we literally saved like 20 or so seconds just on picking the right place to hit the wind tunnels.
You are cleared
Alright.
for landing.
Since we're a little lower on honey than I anticipated, I'm gonna grab some of the honey that's right here. Alright. So on to the next level. It's a little faster now for us to
You are
scroll
cleared
up
for launch.
instead of down, because we can scroll up to the later levels as well. So now we're moving on to the next level, which is raining again. That's the name of the level. And this is another level where we can gather up a decent amount of honey, although the flowers are a little more spread out on this level. So since we just have 150 more honey to go, we just need to pollinate, and since we've got another flower, we just need to pollinate 5 more flowers from here. So, not too much to go. There we go. Alright, so 4 more to go. And that should be enough pollen for the rest of the honey that we need. Alright. Fly here. You can also, I didn't explain this earlier, but in these raining levels, you can slow down time by pressing the D-pad. And what that does is it lets you fly between a bunch of rain droplets so you don't take a bunch of damage. And that's pretty useful. Alright, so just these 2 flowers and we're good to go. Awesome, awesome. So there's some other flowers we can gather up along the way in the flight path, but there's this one area later in the game, or not in the game, but in this level, where it lags quite significantly in this particular area right here. So if you happen to... did I hit the checkpoint? Okay, I guess I did. If you happen to try to gather up honey in that section, it's just really, really slow because the game just lags like crazy. So we want to avoid picking up flowers from that area if we can help it. Alright, now we're going to sit here. Actually, did I miss? I think I missed a checkpoint along some way. I might have to go back because I don't know where I missed the check. Oh, you know what? I totally know where I missed the checkpoint. All right, here, I need to hide real quick. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna put us all the way back. Okay, well, that's fine. Honestly, it's just about as fast. That was a little bit of a waste of time because I totally am dumb and forgot to hit a checkpoint. I do have to hit the checkpoint to actually finish the level. So Have to redo some of that pollinating,
That is
my
gonna leave a
bad.
mark.
My bee. Alright. No biggie. Alrighty. Thankfully, yeah, we didn't spend a ton of time gathering up all that honey, so it's all good. Alright, and this time I'll be smart and actually hit the freaking checkpoint. Yeah, you need to hit every single checkpoint for you to actually finish the level. I just forgot to grab this one here because I'm smart.
Hey!
Alright. I got too distracted by pollinating stuff. The most exciting part of the game. Alright. Now let's do this without messing that up this time. Alright.
Oh, that is gonna leave a mark.
Moved along here. Slow down time, so hopefully we don't take a bunch of damage.
Hey! Lucky shot.
Thank you for slowing down time in time. Yeah, I was gonna say, because if we don't hit that checkpoint in time, then that would be bad. But if we do hit that checkpoint after taking a bunch of that damage, we want to die right away so that we get all of our health back, because we can't get across this gap here without a decent amount of health. Alright, so now we have enough money to buy the last flight pass in the game, and then we have a couple more levels to go, and that will be the any percent run. So, just need to go and, oh, sorry ma'am, oh gosh, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I just... Oh god, I'm sorry, jeez, I'm sorry ma'am. Can we just talk about how like 90% of the budget of this game went into this butt? Okay, anyway. Anyway, so now this section here we have to go and gather up a little bit more evidence before we bring our court case to court. I don't know where else we bring it, but we're bringing it. So we need to distract a bunch of these office workers and then press the evidence mail button they have so ever conveniently on their keyboard. And then we take a snapshot of the evidence. So this next guy, we need to buzz at him a couple times to scare him. And then we do that again here. One nice thing is once you finish that part, you can just lock onto him again immediately instead of having to aim at him again, which is really nice. Alright, and then hits himself in the face, and then we go and knock down his cup of coffee, give him some third-degree burns, melt some of his skin on his leg. Make him get some skin grafts. All in the name of saving honey. Alright. So now we gathered up that second bit of evidence, and there's one last room over here. There's a third computer, and we also need to break into that safe over there. You guys will see in just a moment. So we need to hit the power button on the computer. Thankfully, Barry already knows exactly how computers work straight out of the hive, so good thing he never had to be taught that. Alright, so we gather up the 3 pictures there, and we need to hit the button on this safe to open up the safe, but inside the safe are a bunch of guard killer bees, or like, I guess, what is it, hornets? Yeah, hornets. And there's 15 hornets we have to kill here, so now we just have to have an office battle shootout.
2 down. 3.
Against all of these hornets.
That is gonna leave
Got
him
this,
off.
boys. And we can see, again, we can use the bottom right map to see where all of the enemies are on the screen, so it's pretty helpful if we have a hard time finding them. The only thing about the mini-map is it definitely doesn't show you, like, depth or anything. It just tells you kind of where they are in sort of where they are in relation to you, but yeah, if they happen to be like a little bit like flying low or flying high, sometimes it can be hard to see. Alright, just want to make sure I don't die here. That's really time consuming. Alright, and there's just one guy left to go. Alright, and then there's that mission. Sweet. So we've gathered up enough evidence to finally bring the humans to court. The entire human race. That's right. We are suing the entire human race for
You are cleared for landing.
stealing our honey. So now I need to buy the Platinum Flight Pass, which thankfully we barely have enough money for now, and then we're on to the second to last boss fight in the game against Patrick Warburton's character. So this is the only time in the game where we use this like shooting mechanic, the gun mechanic against a human,
Watch your wings.
and that's the only time it comes up in the entire game. So that's fun.
Oh, denied.
And then it's pretty much just another reaction time kind of level where we need to dodge a bunch of hits and react in time to the targets that are appearing on screen, and then buzz at the enemy so that it scares them. Just avoiding getting hit here, and then we're gonna buzz at him again. Want to again try to hang out on the edge of this hexagon here so we don't get hit,
Watch it with
and
that
so we
thing.
can still buzz at him.
Watch it with that thing.
Let's
Can't
go.
we settle this over a drink?
Let's settle this over a drink. All right. All right. We need to avoid the hairspray.
Focus, Ken.
'Cause nobody wants to see that. I mean, God, hairspray is terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Nothing against hairspray fans. I actually don't really think hairspray's that bad. It's all
Is that
right.
all you got?
All right. So.
Is that all you got?
Just a couple more reactions
Oh,
to do here. If we do die
Watch it with
during
that
any
thing.
of this battle, we do have to redo
Nice
the
try.
entire battle, so that's really bad if that happens. Thankfully, we didn't, so. Alright, we're moving on to the final level of the game. Hope you guys are ready. We're ready to bring our case to court. We're gonna fight the judge, which doesn't happen in the movie at all. This next part literally just doesn't happen in the movie
You
whatsoever.
are cleared
Oh, okay.
for
I
landing.
thought it was going to be an instant transition right away there. All right. All right. So we're up against the judge, and the judge tries to pretty much smoke us out and kill us. And the thing about it is like I think he's referred to as the judge in this. Maybe he's still referred to as the prosecutor. I don't know. But he's a prosecutor in the B movie, and he pretty much is the defense for, or I guess not the prosecutor. I'm stupid. Sorry, he's the defense attorney for the human race, and he basically tries to convince the court in a whole bunch of different ways about why the B's case is like pretty much invalid, and it's kind of funny. Again, I definitely recommend watching the movie. The B movie's not a bad movie, in my opinion. I think it's pretty great. And for this boss fight, we have to run into 3 of these little buttons here and activate these fans, and then the fans will start knocking down these. Like, it'll basically get him distracted, and then he starts like running around, and that starts kind of slowly lowering these chandeliers, and eventually one of the chandeliers are going to come down and hit him in the head. So that's what we're aiming to get to right now. We just turn on all these fans and then go over to the little section there, and then there's another cycle to this boss fight here in a second. Alright, just need to go through this third part. Third part with the exact same animation as before. And then we're moving on to another buzzing part where we need to buzz at
The
the
scales of justice aren't in your favor this
defense attorney
time.
dude here.
Motion denied.
Motion denied, B. It's probably like one of my favorite lines in the game. So we need to buzz at this guy, and we dang it, I didn't get it quite in one cycle. You can definitely do that in one cycle if you happen to go fast enough there with your shaking. And that's pretty nice because that saves you like a good couple seconds if you manage to one cycle that shaking section. So time's going to be coming up here in just a few seconds, just so you guys know, on the SpeedDocsAThon, so you guys know. So chandelier's falling down here, and then we're going to be ending time on the final quick time prompt, which is coming up right in 3, 2, 1, time. So that was B-movie game.
We won! Yay!
Wonderful. We didn't get the B-movie script in the donations.
Dang.
Just want to read one we had during the run from Tamar. Donating 7-11. Best thing ever. Eevee for the win.
It started with
Eevee's... Is it a Pokemon? Eevee, that is? Eevee's pretty great.
I think so. Yeah.
Eevee's...
That's what they're referring to.
Yeah, Eevee's a good Pokemon. I agree.
Maybe they wanted to say BV.
Right, yeah, they definitely...
So-
I think they meant BV. I'm pretty sure they just mistyped, so...
Murdering the guys that... No. We're child friendly. He just got a really, really big bump on his head.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know. It's all good.
Really own their legal strategy. I bet they did not see that coming because the chandelier dropped. Thank you for the run.
Yeah, sure thing, man. Sure thing. Yeah, if you guys want, we could start up the Speedway Races now. We can do that whenever. Pretty much. The credits here are pretty long, so...
Nah, hit us with this Speedway Races because that's what we're about.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good, sounds good. So we just need to return to the hive here. And we'll drive over to the Speedway section, because we do have to drive through the hub world just a little bit to get there.
You are cleared for landing.
Alright, so we're gonna go and grab our car here. And spawn it there.
Are you also running in... do you already also having an in-game timer running?
Oh, so there are in-game timers for the races, but you could also have it as an external timer either way. Either way is good. There's no category for it, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But yeah, it shouldn't take too long, hopefully.
You finished on 51:46.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's not too bad of a time at all. For sure. Alright. Yeah, especially with the auto-saving, like, not having auto-saving on saves a good little bit of time, so I think that's a definitely decent run for the marathon. Alright, so B Speedway has 3 tracks, and if we need to, we might go and do some other races. There's some other races in the game, but they're not with the Speedway. So we might do those if we have extra time, but there are 3 tracks here. We have to do them in order to unlock the other ones. So there's Larva Loop, Drone Dragway, and Queen's Curves. So let's start off with Larva Loop here.
That sounds very cultured. Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Alright, so...
And I'll just check back with tech how we are on time and everything, but you just do your thing and don't worry about that.
Okay, sweet. Sounds good. So Larva Loop will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we start off with a cutscene here. We want to make sure to skip these cutscenes, and then this racing section, there's 8 racers, and we need to clear 3 laps. This first track here is a pretty simple track. It's pretty much just kind of a loop. It's kind of like that, the baby, I forget what it is, like the Baby Mario level in Double Dash. It's kind of like that, where it's a pretty short one, except it doesn't have like a billion laps. We just have 3 laps here. It's a pretty basic race at the beginning. And then there are these speed boost pads you can hit along the way, and also slow down pads you can hit along the way. And we want to make sure also not to take too sharp of turns, or else we end up turning a little too sharply and then we start drifting. And that's not really beneficial at any point in the racing, so we don't want to do that. But that is Larva Loop there. That's the first level. And then once we beat the racing level, we get sent out to the entrance, and we have to go and select the next level. So this is Drone Dragway. This level is a little bit more complicated. We need to drive around some of these slow boost pads. There's a little in-between space here. Nice, we made it through that. So there's, yeah, some slowdown pads are really bad to hit because if you hit too many of them, you'll definitely end up losing the race. So we want to avoid hitting the one in this level for sure. It's kind of easy if you're taking a turn too soon after those slowdown pads to, it's pretty easy to slow down by accident, but thankfully if we make sure to avoid those, it's not too big of a deal. Alright, so we got through those 3 times out of 3, that's good. We didn't get slowed down at all, which is awesome. Not bad, not bad. Alright, and now we're on to the hardest and last level of the Speedway Races, which is Queen's Curves. And Queen's Curves is definitely kind of an interesting level. It's a little harder, and it's got one heck of a turn. There's like one really, really tight turn at one point. We need to take kind of widely. It's going to be interesting, but driving along here. One cool thing, nice, we almost got bumped into that slowdown thing. So, in the, nice, I did get slowed down there, dang. In the PC version of the game, or the HD versions of the game, there are more races in that. I think there's like a couple more races to do instead of just the 3 in this one. I need to make sure not to hit that slowdown pad too much. If I do another time, I might end up having to redo this race. I'll try not to do that. Yeah, hitting some of these guys on the sides really bad. It slows us down pretty significantly. Okay, yeah, I do have to redo this one. That's my bad. Alright, let's do this again here. Yeah, if we get knocked into the slowdown pads, that can be pretty bad. Queen's Curves, let's go. We got this, boys.
So those curves were a bit too thick to drift around, but still, they are bending space-time around, so that's what kept you.
Yeah, this dang bees, man. This freaking, they amaze me. You know, they, like, you. I forget what they say at the beginning of the movie, but you know, like bees' bodies are too big for their wings. They shouldn't be able to physically fly, but they're amazing creatures, man. Like they bend actual time and space around you.
They don't know. They don't care about that. They're just going ahead with all their power.
All right, thankfully we didn't mess up that time. All right, and time.
Having the official okay. Wonderful. But just keep going.
Okay, just keep going. Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry, I knew the incentive was a little short, so I wasn't sure how much time we'd have, because I know my estimate was a little high, just mostly because yeah, again, like if the game crashes at any point, that can be pretty significant in how long of time loss we take. But okay, so there's the Speedway Races. We did all of them. We got the ribbon. You do have to get first in all of those to get the ribbon, so that's why we did the third race twice. So now we're gonna go do some other races. There's another section of the game called the Paul and Jock Academy, and if you guys like, do you guys like Superman 64 like levels? Because I do. I hope you guys like flying through rings. Oh man.
The ultimate in speed gaming, indeed.
All right.
By ultimate, you mean well, exactly the opposite.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's Superman 64 is all right. It's something. Let's see, I forget. So it's, I think, Flight of the Bumblebee.
It is definitely it is definitely something. It might even be a game.
It could be. I think it could technically be. All right, so in this section, we do pretty much it's just a flight section here where instead of using cars, we race around using our flying and dashing. And we want to not dash super often because I think we can save a couple of dashes here if we manage not to get rid of all of them right away. Yeah, like that. So if you make sure to save the last dash, you can actually just keep dashing with the 4th dash, which is nice. Saves a bit of time. So there's 3 tracks for this one as well. This one's kind of sort of like the Larva Loop, where it's mostly just a loop kind of level. Alright, and
First we have a loop, then we have a loop-de-loop.
Right now we have a loop, but we fly through the loops this time. Alright, and next, they also have best lap and high score times. It's one thing I think is kind of funny about this game is they do track all of your high scores and stuff. Like, imagine like just being a kid who's just the only game you have to play or get high scores on and stuff is B-movie game. Just like, wow. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Okay, so we finished Buzz the Tower. The next level here is Tuskegee Yellow Jackets. Let's go. This level has like a couple of different branching paths. And pretty much just want to follow the middle path because it's the straight path. It's the most straightforward path. The fastest one to take, so try to hug the sides here. Try not to bump into anything. Try not to use all of my dashes.
Well, you could argue those bees, not only with their knees and their stingers, but also with their feelers, are kinda horny, so they need to get bonked.
You could say that.
I'll show myself out, but only after this run and only after criminally wonderful refunds.
Right. I mean, so to be fair, like, B-movie itself, I mean, the B-movie itself was romanticizing the whole, you know, freaking Barry getting into a relationship with a human thing. So, I mean, you're not out of line. B-movie's out of line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bonk it good. You go to horny jail.
Alright, awesome. So that's the second level there, and now we just have one more level to go, and I think that's all of the races in the entire game. There's other stuff you can do, like there's shooting gallery stuff and some other interesting side quests, but yeah, all of those other things take a while, and aren't quite as interesting. I think the races are probably some of the more interesting side quests of the game. Alright, so the final level, sorry, go ahead.
It is a good time, and you're just breezing through.
Yeah, beezing through. Easy beezy. Alright,
Exactly.
Right.
That's what the song was about. Keep your hands in Mizuka. Great anime.
Oh man. Yeah. So B-movie. Yeah, B-movie is a pretty ridiculous thing. Man, I mean, I liked B-movie quite a bit. I don't know what it is, but I think the comedy is just really decent for an animated movie. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like a lot of the animated movies like to make as many kind of, I don't know if I'd say sort of like some of the jokes are kind of maybe not the most child appropriate, but I don't know. I think B-movie's great though. So this level is mostly just a big loop, or not a loop, but like multiple loops in one level. If you thought one loop was challenging, well, now we're on to like several loops.
We put loops in your loop so you can loop while you loop-de-loop.
Yeah, man, loopception. Alright, almost to the end here. We're getting there. We're going. And now we are done. That is B-movie game. races. I hope you guys enjoyed the races. Thank you for hanging out. This was B-Movie Game. This game is great. Buy the game. I promise you, you won't regret it. You might.
Wonderful. All right. Thank
Awesome.
you for giving us even more QTB and showing us a honey sweet good time.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoy this run. It's a fun run. Would recommend anyone pick it up.
Job station has just shown up in your neighborhood. Visit
People
it
can
today.
find you on twitch.tv/Silo_Simon.
Yes. Yep.
Wonderful. Okay.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you guys later with some Shrek Extra Large. We'll be moving on here to the next game, so stay tuned. You could say that. I mean, to be fair, like Shrek's probably one of those that I actually do take pretty seriously because it's a genuinely pretty good speed game. B-Movie's a little bit more of a meme overall. I mean, I do try to actually legit speedrun any game I play, but you know, there's definitely a good influence of the game just being a meme in general that really helps me get motivated to run them. You know?
Wonderful. All right.
All right. Thanks for having me again, guys.
Glad to have you. See you later.
See you, man.
Good on her.